What is going on, guys? William Bootsy Blanding, nice guy driver, corporate hustler. Today I'm going to tell you how by just having a family LLC, you could change your life and you could just be simply doing the thing you're already doing. You could be doing what you're already doing. I'll give you an example. You set up a LLC like I recently did, a brand new LLC. But this is for your family, so husband and wife basically count as one. And let's use rideshare as just an example. Let's say they don't even have regular jobs. Let's say the husband does Uber and Lyft, and the wife does just DoorDash. The husband on average, and this is a very modest, $150 a day. He doesn't drive crazy amounts of time. He's getting older. Let's say he's over 50, like myself. So he only drives maybe 4 to 5 hours, maybe let's say 4 to 6 hours a day. Tries to hit that $150 a day mark and then go home. Sometimes a little bit longer, a little bit less. His wife, she works a little bit more hours. She works a solid 7 to 8 hours a day just doing DoorDash. And she brings in, on average, sometimes more, $150 a day. Combined, that's $300 a day. That in itself, you're already business owners, because this thing about rideshare and gig economy, you're already business owners. It kind of forces you into becoming a business owner. You're just a sole proprietor when you're doing these gigs, an independent contractor. But by simply setting up an LLC, having both of your money going into the LLC, you now qualify for business credit. Later, if you properly set that LLC up, for corporate credit that you don't even have to guarantee. Now, how does that change what you would be doing as a sole prop? You could do the same thing as a sole prop, except you're limited on business credit. You're not structured the way they want you structured. You need to be an LLC or a corporation. LLC being the cheapest route. This is why I like to call this the family LLC. You have 6 figures going in your business account, your LLC. You automatically are going to qualify for business financing for your vehicles. Now you can set up a fleet account on the Uber and Lyft side. You can start going private now. You have the funds and the credit to borrow money to build your own company app. Your own company app. The capabilities are out there. You can literally hire somebody in-house now with all these no-code tools. Build your own app. That gives your company more credibility. And now you have endless power to rent the vehicles, maybe. And I'm not talking Toro. I'm talking privately through their same company, through your same LLC. And you could continue driving Uber and Lyft, steal their customers, bring them into your funnel as private clients, get them to program them to start using your app. And literally, you only have to have a small amount of drivers locally in your area. See, I'm in the greater Hartford area. You literally can have people within 5 or 6 towns around Hartford have each driver renting your vehicles. They could pick what gig apps they want to do. Your company keeps growing. You could do marketing because you have borrowing power, so you could borrow to put more money into marketing to expand your company. You could get into other avenues, like start a different company. Like I'm basically starting a AI marketing company, and a division of will be the transportation side. So that will be a LLC under this company that I'm building right now. But there's nothing stopping me from getting a commercial vehicle under this company and still doing Uber and Lyft. I'm debating on whether I want to take it out of my name and put it into this LLC, because it might complicate things, but we'll see when we get to that bridge. Right now, literally, I'm waiting for my tax ID to come back. I sent in all the paperwork. I had the domain for years, so I already had the business name, the business domain, and even the YouTube channel specifically for this company. It's in a low-risk industry, so it's not in transportation. Why am I doing that? To get more in business funding. That's the whole goal, is to get more funding. But by having a holding company that's going to generate more corporate credit, you have the borrowing power to get vehicles under your LLC that's doing your transportation, rather than just using a high-risk industry to apply for that stuff. But even that LLC that you're just doing your transportation is going to get gas cards. So you're still going to build credit. You just wouldn't get as much on the level that I'm planning on going. I'm trying to narrow down my content to just long form on 2 channels and short form on the others. It's just, I don't want to say I'm getting tired of it. It's just the repetition is taking time away from doing other things. I'm really getting into the AI side and start building some stuff on the AI side and the marketing side. So there's the endless AI tools, of course, so I'm never going to get bored. So, but you could take a family LLC, literally do the stuff you're already doing, making the money you want to do. Let's say your wife just babysits, and you got some other side stuff you're doing. You're washing cars, you're landscaping. Put all that money into your family LLC rather than just your personal accounts, and it helps you qualify for credit that you may have to guarantee in the beginning. But I was told by this one company that I consider credible that once you get about 14 to 15 trade lines on your business, you've reached the point where you no longer have to personally guarantee. Meaning you could literally go to definitely a Chevy dealer, definitely a Ford dealership, and get a vehicle, no money down, strictly under your business, and you don't even have to give them your social security number, because they automatically will go in and see all the trade lines on your corporate credit. As soon as they type it in, they'll pop up. I believe I'm going to get to that level on this company, as well as another C corporation that I want to set up shortly after start making some revenue in this company. And here's the key. I already have the revenue. It's the same money I'm already making. It's just I'm shifting it to a new LLC, and I'm going to stop sending money to my old holding company that I have in Navy Federal, simply because I didn't set it up right. A lot of things I didn't keep up with like I should have. I'd rather just start fresh, get this company to making hopefully some grant money, and then I'll backtrack and maybe fix that company to where I want it to be. So I'm considering that kind of a shelf corp that I'm putting on the back burner. But I may go back to it. I may. But right now I want to focus on this brand new company because I'm starting fresh. I'm doing everything the right way. I'm referring you guys to the companies. So if you go to the links below this video or go to Blandrake YouTube channel, if you're seeing it somewhere else, and go to the links below, you'll see that I'm giving you all the steps that I'm taking. I'm giving you the companies I'm using in case you want to use them too. I will get a affiliate fee, from 20 to 30%. And that is another way to generate revenue in your company. See what I'm saying? Because this is a low risk industry too, I could do many different things. Even though it's geared towards AI, I could do a lot of media stuff. I could do marketing. I could do pretty much any online stuff. And it'll be a low risk category by being in a software publisher category. So it should get me more corporate credit than I've ever gotten in my life, because I've built corporate credit in the past. But I did it under management company that works. But the thing about consulting or management, I think the banks are getting hip to it. I think the banks, they're starting to have a lot of default companies that are just consulting companies. And when you really think about it, even though I'm a software publisher, I can still be doing consulting under my same brand. See what I'm saying? Like, that's like a general brand that's low risk that you could use. And I like that I have that flexibility, where even when I set up the LLC for just the transportation, it's not the end of the world because it's going to be under taxi and delivery, which is not as high risk as trucking. So I'll still be able to open an account at probably any regular bank, even Chase would open it. It just won't get as much business and corporate credit, I think, as doing the AI stuff. And here's the thing about technology. You don't have to be technical at all. You don't. I could walk in a bank right now, convince them that I know enough to go in, build this company up, and build a bigger app because I have the vision. And I built some prototype literally using Gemini AI Studio in like 10 minutes. And I'm not technical. I'm over 50, not technical. And I did that. Literally went in the AI Studio, followed some guy on YouTube, some white kid, and just followed along, built my own app, and it works. I call it Blandrake AI. And I integrated that into my website. So they go to the website, they could try that for free. I could go to the bank and be like, yeah, go to my website, click that link. You could try the app, try it out. It's a prototype. That's going to give them the vision of something much bigger that I'll hire somebody down the line that's way smarter than me to build now the real app that's going to make us hundreds of thousands of dollars, hopefully. But all I got to do is make a small amount of money now. Like a grant of like 10,000 would be mind blowing right now. That would be good. I would be good with that because I'm already making money. I'm just trying to get to the level where I have maybe 50,000 in spendable credit to deploy into building something that really could make some real money on the AI side. And while I'm doing that, on the transportation side, I could buy a couple of vehicles, get 3 or 4 drivers, in those vehicles, just renting the cars to them. I can make $300 a day just renting the cars to them. And they could do whatever gig they want, you know? And that should cover everything, my commercial insurance, everything, you know? I could even charge them less than that. I could probably charge $500 a week to each driver. And that would be enough to cover the vehicles, you know? I could even have it where my vehicles are covered under my commercial insurance, but they got to add their own insurance. So maybe you charge them $550, you know, a week, you know, something like that. Right now, the Uber and Lyft rental programs, not to get off subject, but they're renting vehicles for around, I would say, from $400 a week and up. But when you're driving, you can only drive on the one platform, and all the money you're making is going to the rental program. You're not making nothing, you know, where you could rent vehicles to drivers. They could do whatever gig they want. They could do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, whatever apps out there, catering apps, whatever, make a good amount of money a day so they can make $300 a day and pay you $100 a day. Everybody wins. And that's, you fully cover them for $100 a day. You know, you put the insurance, everything, you know. And I'm going to give you a little hint on this, but of course, criminals and felons can't drive Uber and Lyft. But let's just say you know a couple of guys that you want to help out. They're starting their life over. And you could set them up on some delivery apps where they're just going to like places like Home Depot and dropping off supplies. You know, nothing crazy. It doesn't matter what their record is because they're working under you. And you could say whatever amount you make, we split 50-50 or 50-60, however you figure out you want to split per day. So they can make, you know, $500 a day doing some decent deliveries. I think that's a modest amount. $300 to $500 a day. And you got to split that, you know, because you got to cover the costs for the vehicles, keep the vehicles covered, whatever. And you could go get some couple minivans, you know. But putting it under the LLC is the key. And this could start with the family LLC. I didn't mean that. It kind of flowed when I said it. So that's what I'm working on, is having a group or a membership, I think, geared towards, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe I'll call it Family LLC, and see how that, if I can get that membership to grow just based on this concept. Set up a LLC for the family. If you want to get bigger later, that's when you go into the C Corp and the living trust, and the trust owns the holding company because you want to have an out-of-state holding company for asset protection. But that's when you get some money coming in. You literally just need any amount of money coming in. And if your personal credit scores are probably above 680, you might as well say you made it. Either you or your wife has a 680 credit score to guarantee a couple of lines on your personal after you got some grants. You don't have to go immediately into funding. Go after grants. We got one of the best grant sources. Links below. It's such a good grant source that I'm waiting for my new LLC stuff to come in, because I got to start applying. Like, I had signed up under my old holding company, which I didn't like. So I'm waiting for my paperwork to come back, integrate my new company so I could go after some grants. They have AI built into the platform to help you apply for the grants now. It's crazy. You're almost guaranteed to get, if you're focused, I should, clarify. If you're focused, you're guaranteed to get a few $1,000s a year with a regular LLC. and that's not even being like really targeted on grants, but just regular LLC. All your paperwork's good standing, you know, you're going to get some money, period. It is taxable, but you don't have to pay back the debt. But if you do your thing right with your business and you got the right tax people, you're going to have enough write-offs where that won't become an issue. That's the key with getting the right tax people to back you up. But that's where we're at. I'm really excited going into this journey with the new company. Like I said, I've been advertising the company for a minute. I got the YouTube channel. I'm on LinkedIn with it. I'm on my Facebook with it. So, I even got the TikTok branded. So I've been branding myself even before I actually got my LLC set up. That's how my head is. I'm already like focused. I'm already like working. When I do the transportation company, I might stick with the same YouTube channel name. Like, it'll just keep it on brand. I might do the same thing with the or similar name when I do the C Corp. I'm good at names, brands. You gotta have a low risk name, nothing that means anything. Like Apple just came out with Apple. Like, it doesn't really mean anything. Starbucks doesn't really mean anything. Walmart doesn't really mean anything. That's how you need to brand your company. You can use AI to help you figure that out now, but I would stay away from names that like mean something. You can use other languages, but get something easy to pronounce. Like, my company Blandrake is literally just the 4 letters of my last name, and just I use Drake on the end as like the abbreviation for dragon. Of course, my stepdaughter thinks it means Drake, like the singer. No, it has nothing to do with Drake, the singer. Drake is like short for dragon. So Bland Drake, and then I have like a dragon-like logo. I don't even care if they think it means Drake, the rapper, because Drake can't sue me because technically it's not the same name, and you remember it. It's catchy, Bland Drake. You know what I'm saying? So by having a catchy name, you remember it. That's what I like about it. So I don't even care if they think it's something to do with the rapper Drake, even though we're not like that. We're not like us. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with that name. But I think I'm really creative with names. My original YouTube channel is Chania Business. Now that's when I try to get too creative, and people aren't always going to be able to pronounce that. Chania is Swahili, I believe it is. Basically African word for wealthy. And I just added business on the end. So I think I was trying to get too creative with that. But you could get creative with these names. I would stay away from last names, real last names. Like Blandrake ain't my real last name. It's just part of my last name. I would stay away from last names. For, I think, not asset protection, but just keep it, build a brand that's totally not you. Like Blandrake is a AI marketing brand. It has really nothing to do with my last name, but it was creative to use 2 parts of a name and bring them together and it still be kind of short. So I'm gonna probably try to stick to that when I create the C Corp name as well. So get something nice, short, doesn't mean anything. Keep it in a low risk industry, and hopefully I could build a membership around this idea for everybody to start a family LLC in a low risk industry, and we all get money. Because you're gonna, if nothing else, you're going to have tax advantages. So literally, if you just did this for tax advantages, I'm sure you win. You know, even if you only made a few dollars in between, you still win. You're going to have tax advantages, and you're going to have credit and buying power. More credit than your personal. So even if you're rich, this works. If you're poor, this works. If you're middle class, this works. Everybody should want to do it. Family LLC. Everybody should start one. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to get back at it. Just subscribe. You know, I'm sure this will bring in a nice short form videos for me through Opus Clips. I do have a referral for them too. I literally will just take the clips, put it on 3 of the channels, and just do long form on 2 of the channels. And I won't feel like I'm doing too much. And then occasionally I'll send them over to LinkedIn or X, you know, stuff like that. I don't think you got to go crazy with the marketing. I'm still getting reach. Even though I'm not monetized on any of my YouTube channels, I'm still getting a lot of reach because I have technically 6 channels. You know, I only actively post on 5. So I got more channels than Glendon Cameron, if you can believe it. So I'm grinding on the online streets. Now, in the real world, I don't drive a lot. I should be driving right now. And I'm, you know, taking the time to do this video when I could be making the money today. I'll make on average $100, $150 a day. And like in my example, driving, you know, the few hours I drive a day. So I'm not, but if I really went hard, if you or your wife really went hard, think about it. Y'all went hard. Let's not even say hard. Let's just say 8 hours a day. You put in 8 hours a day, that could possibly get you like $200 a day. Your wife maybe have to work a little bit longer. Let's just say she worked 10 hours a day. You don't have to do it every week. But she brought in, you know, $200 a day. So that week, y'all did really good. You know, bringing in, you know, $800, you know, a day. That's a good money to put in your LLC just to qualify for more funding later when you really need it. Don't even use it now. Wait till you need a new vehicle. Like me, I'm waiting. I got people be all in my comments. Why you still riding that raggedy car then? Why not? Why go out and go get a nice luxury car now and it still works? Now later, am I going to get something bigger, probably nicer? Yes. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to be stunting on the channel with it. I don't need to do that right now. You know, this is my rebuild stage. You know, my credit score, I just looked at it. I'm almost about to hit 7, you know, on my Experian. I don't know what my FICO is, but about to hit 7 on all 3. I'm trying to hold off and get to about 720, maybe a 700 FICO before I pull the trigger on funding. But I'm hoping by then I'll have a grant or 2. I'm going after some grants, guys. I ain't playing. I'm going after some free money. Y'all think I'm playing? You will hear me talking about it constantly on the channels. I'm not trying to get more in debt. I'm trying to get some couple grants for what I really need, which is what? Payroll and marketing. Payroll and marketing. If I could get a small amount that don't dip into my daily funding, the daily money that I'm making, let's just say I get an extra 10K, which I could easily go borrow. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But 10K grant that I don't have to pay back, I could just literally take that money and put it into a new business account for this company. That's going to look real nice to the bank. Don't put it in all at once. I'm just saying, you know. Or maybe I do put it all in once if I could have it sent to my account, you know. But that would look really good when you're just opening an account and you immediately put that amount of money in. That bank is probably going to start throwing you money. That should be the first bank I go to, or credit union I go to, and be like, yep, I'm ready. And if I can get one inquiry and do, say, like a credit card and a line of credit at once, one inquiry, I win. I win. And let's say I get like a line of credit for 10 and a credit card for 20. I'm good. I don't need to go out here and get, even though I can, I have access to a company I can literally go to and let them do credit stacking, and they'll probably get me 100 to 150 right out the gate. But I don't want to do that. I'm doing it the right way this time. I'm thinking slow, precision, you know. Eventually, I want to get 15 trade lines on the business side, but slow, accurate, and without going crazy on my personal. I don't want to use too many inquiries, you know. The goal is to do this slowly, precision. And if you're willing to watch, you're going to see my journey. And I go back on and look at some old videos. I made mistakes, but I've also built credit, and I've made a lot of money. I burned through a lot of money, but I made a lot of money, especially around the pandemic time. And I was chilling, got to see my first granddaughter pretty much grow up. Not so much the second one, but I got to spend a lot of time with my first granddaughter when she was born, you know, because I wasn't busy. The pandemic was going on, and I had so much money in the bank. I was basically chilling. But it's nice to see with the current administration, there is some grants. But you got to think business-minded. Like the current administration, they're about business. Let's make no mistake. But you could still be about business too. They don't see your color when you're set up right. That's the one thing I like about business. Set it up right. The government knows, but it's not like the current administration is gonna like stop you from getting loans or grants. They want you to be business set up like a business. And there's a lot of opportunity in any administration for grants. I would say there's less now because, you know, the Democrats were giving out a lot of money. Let's keep it real. They were just throwing it at everybody, but it was a lot of fraud because of that. So, but there's still opportunities for grants. And then after the grants, I don't think I'm ever going to stop with the grants. I'll be honest with you guys. Even after I get regular funding based on credit, I think from now on, because I know what I know about grants, I'm going to apply for probably about 50 to 100 grants a year. And even if I only got 10, I win. I win. That should be your mindset, not just funding. Grants are out there. You got to get set up right. You know, I talk about all the steps. I don't want to bore you. You probably lost some of you. But I got enough videos on here talking about set everything up right, and basically you set up everything for funding right is the same way you set up for grants. You know. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for your continued support. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.